Hi everyone, my name is Mahima and welcome to Seeko's YouTube channel. Today we'll be talking about how to find internships in the Big Four. The Big Four primarily constitute of companies like Deloitte, EY, KPMG and PwC. So now the question arises, how can one find internships in these organizations? Well, the route to finding an internship can be divided into three ways. First, through referrals. If any of your relatives or your seniors are working in these Big Fours, you can get a referral, and through that referral, they will be referring you to a particular role in these companies, through which you can get an interview call. Second route is through LinkedIn and cold emailing. You can reach out to people who are there on LinkedIn who are working for these firms. You can do that by rooting for the role that you want to apply for and by convincing the people on LinkedIn or through cold mail that you are the right person for this job. If you want to know more about cold mailing, you can go forward and check out our other videos on the same. Now, let's talk about the third route that you can find. That is through the website. A lot of these companies have urgent roles on their website that you can apply for. For that, you need to be very regular in checking what all roles that you want to apply for and what can be these open roles and what are the qualifications for the same. Understand that these roles open for a very limited period of time. So it is very important that you're very regular in taking updates on whatever roles are open on a regular basis. Now, when we talk about my personal experience of finding an internship, well, I got lucky and found both my internships in Big Four through LinkedIn. I used to follow a lot of people who used to work in Big Four like EY and Deloitte, and luckily I got through the post that these people posted for an urgent requirement and sent my CV and then got an interview call. So I feel that it is very important to have your LinkedIn ready all the time and your CV ready to send for these urgent requirements. Now let us talk about what all roles are available. So you need to know that in these Big Fours, there are a lot of colliding roles and a lot of independent divisions. So for example, one Big Four can be very good for auditing, but the other Big Four can be very good for consulting. So you need to be aware of what roles are available and second, what roles interest you. So for example, when I wanted to intern in EY, I was very clear that I want to be a part of the strategy and marketing team and not any other role. So I started following those people who worked in this specific division itself, because we need to understand the Big Four have a lot of roles available for them. So your clarity of knowing what role you want to apply for is very important. Similarly, in case of Deloitte, I wanted to work in the consulting division. So I started looking actively for roles available in the consulting division itself. You can go forward and check different roles available across industries and also understand which Big Four is better for which role. Now, let's talk about what is an ideal resume that gets shortlisted in a Big Four. Understand, there is no ideal resume or no shortcut resume that will get you a short shortlist. However, as we have covered in our past videos, the link to which we are attaching, you can see how there are a few pointers that we need to take care of while making an ideal resume. More importantly, whenever you're giving a Big Four interview, it's important to drive impact in your interviews. For example, when I was interning for Deloitte, before I was selected in my interviews, I talked extensively about my interest in human capital and companies like e-commerce working in this particular space. That really helped me drive my interview and have talking pointers with the interviewer. It is very important to add that personal touch not only in your overall CV but for the role you're applying for. So for example, if you're applying in EY and you're looking to apply for a marketing role, you need to convince the interviewer that you have interest in the field of marketing. You can show this interest by any of your past experiences or talking about any industry knowledge that you might have. Now you must be wondering how to create an ATS friendly resume for Big Fours. We need to understand Big Fours get a lot of applications. You can see a video on what is ATS and what an ATS friendly resume looks like. However, if you want to make your resume compliant to a Big Four's internship, what you need to take care of is to read the job description. There are a few keywords that you need to take care of in any internship in these Big Fours. A few common pointers can be having knowledge of research, having basic knowledge of Excel, being very proficient with Word tools. These are the three things which are very effectively used in consulting or auditing roles that the Big Fours give you. Now, let's move forward and discuss what were the interview questions or what is the process of a Big Four internship. Now understand, Big Fours are very diverse. These are 4 different companies with a lot of roles. So there is no set interview process, so as to speak. While I interviewed for EY, my specific interview process was that I had to fill a form wherein there were some questions I had to answer, followed by 2 to 3 rounds of interviews. These rounds can also be limited to 1 round or can go up to 4 rounds. In these interview rounds, there was a conversation between the interviewer and me to understand why I'm inclined to that particular internship. Understand, an interview is not a grilling round where the interviewer asks and you need to answer. An interview is a place wherein both of you have a conversation about things that you are inclined towards. So the questions that you can get in a Big Four internship can also be about the history of the company, what does that company do, and why are you inclined towards that particular Big Four itself. And then the questions can also get very technical in terms of the role you've applied for. So for example, during my Deloitte internship, the project that was inclined there was in human capital and also in edtech companies. So we talked a lot about the industry knowledge that I had in that particular field. The process is fairly simple if you have a CV which is ready and also have knowledge about the role that you're applying for. Moving next, let's talk about the average stipend. Well, it is important to know that the Big Fours do not pay you a lot at an undergraduate level. The stipend can last from 5 to 10,000, and in some cases, you also have to work without a stipend. But in my experience, I feel that the barter was worth it. And now if I talk about my experience and how my life in the Big Four internship used to be like, well, I would say that as an intern, my life in the EY internship was fairly challenging, and as well as the Deloitte internship, which I'll talk about respectively. In my EY internship, there was a lot that we had to do on a continuous basis. There was a lot of innovation, and it totally depends on your team. If I talk about how would your experience look like, there is no set pattern, because in Big Fours, there's so many divisions and people work in small teams. So in my team, we used to go forward and do a lot of research and analysis on an individual basis and also on a team basis. And also similarly, when I was working for Deloitte, the culture was fairly easy and easy to go with. People worked with me. But again, a lot of individual and teamwork was involved. I feel like if you are looking forward to work in Big Four and you are someone who enjoys problem solving and working with big teams or even in small groups of people, this is your place to go. What are a few key takeaways that I can give you from my internship? First, a lot of people think that if you do not have a Big Four internship, it does not mean that you can convert good jobs or more internships in the future. Well, that is not true. However, a Big Four internship can give you a brand name that you can take with you for life. Instead of going forward and looking for Big Four internships, I would suggest to have an overall view of understanding what you like. If you have an individual preference towards a particular industry, go forward and research about that, because that is going to help you crack any interview in that field which you like. My second takeaway in a Big Four internship was to always be very prompt. A lot of people think that when they are given a job, they only need to do A to Z of that. However, think out of the box. This is once in a lifetime opportunity that you get. So go forward, collaborate with people, do different things that you want to experiment. And most importantly, do prioritize your learning over anything. So this was my Big Four experience. If you think we missed out on anything or you wish to know anything else about my experience, do reach out to us in the comment section. Till then, like, share and subscribe to Seekho's YouTube channel and find more such YouTube videos.